Nothing offends the human ego more than realizing that you are able to feel attached to them deeply, but also that you're able to detach with a smile. Oh Lord, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing. The biggest pain is not just rejection; it's the fact that the person that you're with, it can find happiness outside of you. It's the type of shit that makes me say, "Fuck your therapist." What the hell you mean that you got to heal, right? And so today we're going to be talking about the power of detachment, how detachment plays with their emotions, how you can use that to leverage your relationships. And the problem is that there's too many nice people out there that are afraid to show this because they don't want to hurt people. You're so sensitive that you think detachment will hurt them as much as it will hurt you. You're wrong. You'd be surprised how people can recover from pain, right?
By the way, check out my new channel, Professor Alex. It's a channel that I created where I talk about spirituality, self-help, and topics like the ones you see here. It's completely different from the men's channel. So click on that right now, and there you'll be able to get 3 or 4 videos per week that you will never find on this channel. Okay, subscribe right now, or else I'm closing it.
You'd be surprised how much people don't will say, okay, oh, you don't want to be with me? Okay, that's fine. And they'll easily leave you, and you think that they were going to suffer when in reality they don't give a fuck. You'd be surprised how often that happens. But also, you'd be surprised when you apply this strategy, how powerful it is, how it triggers people, how it completely discombobulates people, how it completely gets them on your side. And the fear that people have if they apply these strategies, that the person that they're with are going to leave them, the person that they're going to find someone. The problem is that you're overestimating their self-esteem. Most people are suffering on the inside, easily triggered by any event. It's like people who are broke, right? Most people are so broke that if one catastrophic event happens, they might end up on the streets. That's actually a lie, by the way. That's bullshit, right? I never see one person. Anyways, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And if you guys want to, and if you guys are needy and creepy and you don't know how to detach, well, work with me one on one. I'll tell you guys what to do with sternness, right? Like a lot of people, ever since those the Mindful Attraction podcast, a lot of people have been booking calls. That's fucking amazing. I did not know just doing a podcast, having you guys talk to me and me give you advice will get people to buy my coaching calls. I don't have to threaten the channel no more, man. That's amazing. Look at that. Um, so I appreciate all of the support, and it's beautiful because I can also help you guys, right? So yeah, book a one-on-one phone call with me. And by the way, check out the Mindful Attraction podcast by becoming a $5 member. There you'll be able to watch my long form content where people ask me questions on Zoom, and it's actually funny. It's really hilarious. So for $5 a month, you guys get access to that, or you guys can join Patreon and get the same access, but you also get more videos and more meditation replays, because on Zoom we have a meditation group that you guys can join by either purchasing anything from me, right? If you ever purchase anything from me, just send me a message, and there you'll be able to have access to the daily meditations we have. We haven't been doing meditations, but we're gonna start tomorrow. Okay, so it's actually a good way to apply the strategy we're gonna talk about today. All right, so the first one. So remember, man, unfortunately, to learn this, it takes pain. All right, there's a lot of pain involved in learning how to do this. For the simple reason that the people who learn this are really nice people. Um, People who don't know how to deal with awkwardness. People who at the sight of pain, rather than sit with their pain, they seek validation. Right? You've been rewarded to be needy and creepy when you feel pain. So as a result, that's deeply wired in your brain, right? And sometimes that was wired by our parents. But unfortunately, too, if you guys want to learn and master detachment and use your detachment as a way to control people, well, unfortunately, you got to first handle pain, right? That's the first thing. So this strategy is only applied to a certain amount of people, right? Because some people just don't give a fuck about you. All right. Some people you apply detachment and they leave. And what that means is not that you did something wrong, but that's just a sign of something that you weren't aware of, right? This person didn't care. You detaching should reveal to you how they feel about you because of how they react to you, right? If you detach and they don't over pursue you, that's a red flag, right? But if and in fact, no, that's a beautiful flag because now you know this person don't give a fuck about you. Either they do like you, and that's fine, but sometimes they like the power that they have over you, right? This only is only for partners who take you for granted. So if I'm dating someone and she is being distant, right, canceling date, oh God, I'm not, no, fuck that shit, man. Detachment don't even work. You just leave that situation. But she's just less enthusiastic and stuff like that. Um, that's where detachment works the best, right? You react to them taking you for granted with detachment, right? And people pay attention because what people hope is that you are not aware that you're taking advantage of them, that you're taking it for granted, because that's just human nature. For those who don't feel the need to validate you, for those who stop being romantic, for those who stop dressing up for you, for those who stop cooking for you, for those who stop giving you gifts, right? For those who feel like they completely have you and they don't need to do anything else, that's who you do that for, right? For those who are taking advantage of how you feel, they know you don't want to leave, they know you can't leave, and so they treat you like shit as a result, right? They know that they think that they're doing you a favor. They think that they're above your league. And so it justifies any negligence on their part. Any motherfucker that thinks they're beyond your league, this is the perfect strategy. The problem is that if you believe they're above your league, you don't want to go through this process. You want to have your cake and eat it too. You think Father Alex is Black Jesus? No, motherfucker, man. You got to be willing to suffer. You got to be willing to suffer if you're going to be applying these strategies, right? So remember. So let's talk about how to do it, right? The first one, and by the way, we're gonna go to a quick little commercial break so that we don't close the channel.
Are you needy and creepy? Do you have a tough time coming across confident when you like the person? A lot of the times you just don't know what to do. You have habits and patterns that whenever somebody triggers you, you completely forget what to do the right thing. Well, guess what? I have a course for that. And it's called The Psychological Game of Attraction, Natural Chemistry, and The Feminine Woman. What I call the fundamentals. All of those courses are meant to eradicate and exercise the needy, creepy parts in you through action. Meaning, you do what the videos say, and without a shadow of a doubt, you actually get the results. You'll notice that men call you back more. Men will want more relationships with you. They're gonna be the ones that are needy and creepy. They're gonna be the ones that want something. They're gonna be the ones that are the aggressors in trying to get a relationship out of you. But the problem is that a lot of people just watch one or two videos and completely forget that there's actually a system. Don't just watch one or two videos. Get the system either by purchasing all of them and get a discount, or purchase them individually. Because a lot of the times, just watching one video in isolation, you actually miss the big picture. You have to understand why it works. You have to understand what to do next. And a lot of times, my videos just can't address that. A lot of people, you'll see by the testimonies right here, a lot of people have done what those videos say and they've gotten results. Like the other day, I was in Mexico and they were like, hey, Alexis. And I'm like, hey, oh my God, your videos are so great. And I'm like, and she was like, look at my kid. I'm like, what you talk about your kid? That's not my kid. She's like, no, no, no. Because of him, because of your videos, he's here. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's a. But I get that a lot. And ironically, that woman watches all of my videos, right? So purchase those courses, man. And if you don't like it, you actually could get a 30-day money back guarantee, right? Purchase them individually or get a discount and purchase them all by clicking on the description down below. You have the option of purchasing the one with the bonuses that obviously it's more material, where it's like I give you guys meditations. There's also other courses on how to make friends, how to master anything, or you could purchase it without the bundle, which is much more affordable. All right. And with that, you guys are able to support my channel, which will allow me to make more videos. Okay. Anyways, see you guys inside and thank you.
Okay, we're back, right? Channel stays open. So the first one is the reason why this strategy, the reason why detachment plays with their emotion is because you wake them up from the delusion that you're always going to be there. This delusion is in part created by you because of your insecurities of this ending. When you are afraid that if something's going to end, you tend to latch onto it harder. And the way we latch onto it harder mentally is through the illusion of permanence. We assume that this will always be there, but it's really you're lying to yourself, right? That's really an illusion, a delusion, because you are afraid that this will end, and so you create the delusion that this will always be forever. It's only human nature, right? It's like people who are afraid of death. You don't think about death, and so you go your whole life thinking you're always going to have unlimited time, right? And that's really because it's like being broke, going to the store. You know you're broke, but you hope you're not broke, right? It hurts more to look at your bank account than to swipe your card and being told your card was rejected. That's the illusion, the delusion, where you're so insecure because you don't know how to handle pain that you rather tell yourself that this will always be forever. And so from the other person's perspective, you just look so needy and creepy. You just give off that desperate vibe. And they're like, yo, this person really likes me. Oh wow, this person. And so they'll do manipulative things. And because you're not willing to walk away, you see yourself with them for your whole life. And so because of that, when they do bad things to you, in your mind, you can't imagine this ending. So you have to be the one that fixes it. Even though they're fucking up, you got to make it up for them. And this creates such a disbalance. And it makes you so creepy and needy. Like you just develop so many bad habits that if you stay there long enough, it could stay with you forever, those bad habits. Well, you could practice meditation, right? You could learn how to meditate, go to a 10-day retreat or join our Zoom meditation. And it could easily, not easily, but over time, diminish those needy, creepy habits, right? As a result of you thinking that it's always going to be forever. As soon as you start to tell yourself this will end one day, right? You don't lie to yourself. You tell yourself this will end. It like it literally like it brings you to reality. And because now you're grounded in reality, I swear to God, your emotions catch up to reality. But you catch up through a little bit of pain because you're like, oh fuck, it's gonna end. But over time you get used to that. And then all of a sudden you're in reality. And then you're able to detach. And then when you're able to do that, this is what happens next. It invalidates them. A lot of times people get validation by the power that they have over you. They don't really love you. They just they're like, look at this person. This person is my slave. This causes them then to become more romantic and they try to impress you. But the problem is that sometimes, because you made the wrong choice with the wrong person, sometimes this is only temporary. This is only a power play, right? They're doing it because they just want to bring you back, roll you back in like a little fish, right? Like a pick-me fish, so that then they can throw you back out once they know that they have you. And the way you know that's because you do this once, they become more docile. You go back to normal, and then they go back to their old behavior. That's a sign that this pattern will not end, and that you made the wrong choice with the wrong person. The real issue is that a lot of people, when they know they made the wrong choice, they don't want to leave because some people just don't know how to detach. They romanticize the past too much, and they always want to go back. And the reason why is because they're just not happy with the moment. And when you're not happy with the moment, it just means you're not in reality. You're in your own little creepy head with your own little fantasies. And as a result, when you're with them, you're going to be reacting to narratives in your mind. Oh, do they like me? Well, I hope I'm not needy. Oh my God, like I hope like and so that inner dialogue when you're looking at them, you look like this. Oh, you're so funny, Tyrone. No. Right? Like that, and you don't notice it. For me, it was that I spoke fast, that I try to dominate conversations, that I try to sound smart, right? And you'll see that in my face. You're like, oh wow, this person talks a lot. But in my mind, I'm thinking I'm spitting game. And this the next thing that happens when you detach, and when I mean detachment, I mean a lot of the times, sometimes it could be that in your mind, you say, okay, that's it, man. If this shit don't work out, I'm willing to walk away. It's not that you don't stop liking them, but you just say to yourself, I'm willing to walk away. Right? I'm willing to suffer if this ends. I'm willing to get therapy to let go of this person. That's my favorite way of detachment. But also, it could be that you're sick and tired of their bullshit. You're like, oh, fuck this guy. And you become apathetic. You're like, you know what? Whatever, man. And you're with them, but you're not there. And they can sense that. They're like, they look at you and it's like, what the fuck? Hello, are you there? And you're like, and what they'll do, they feel bad. They're like, oh, fuck, did I fuck up? Then they'll start to try to impress you. They start to get romantic. Right. And when they sense that, that's when you start to talk. That's when you should tell them, look, man, I just don't like the way we've been doing this. You've been acting really weird. You don't give me space. You're going too fast. We got to slow this down a little bit, or you're being disrespectful, right? When they sense your energy shift, right? Let's put this right here. They become more open to change. When they sense your energy shift, the next thing that happens is that they become more open to change. Because then, if they're actually sensing it and they feel like they did something wrong, then in that state of like, oh, did I fuck up? Then you could answer that question. You're like, oh yeah, you did actually. You fucked up big time, and they become more open to changes, right? And but when you're not willing to detach, they don't sense that something's off. Or better yet, they know something's off, but you're just too weak to say something. You don't deserve that they change if you're not willing to speak up for yourself. Another thing is that they have a sense of isolation. This is good. If they really like you and you detach, they're gonna feel isolated. That's perfect. That's a sign that they respect you. That's a sign that they value your opinion, that they value your thoughts. That's a sign that they actually are attached to you and maybe they will genuinely take you for granted. So what they'll do to fix their isolation, they'll grow closer to you. Right? But in your detachment, if they don't feel isolation, but rather they feel offended or like, oh, justified, oh, who the fuck do they think they are? They don't, it's not meant to be, right? Because detachment should make the person feel alone. And it should draw them to you, right? Next one is they feel like they have no power over you. And thus they change how they perceive you. And this one, they start to respect you. This one, they start to feel like there was someone who, you know what, maybe I shouldn't take him for granted. In their minds, they're gonna start to have fantasies about you, how amazing you are, and how their life will be so miserable without them. Their minds will literally start to do the dirty work for you because they'll notice that begging don't work. They'll notice that they're pulling away don't work. They'll notice that they can't change your mood. And people, this is a thing. This can be done to manipulate where they didn't do nothing wrong and you detach and they still react this way. This is why I'm telling you, you don't do this on everyone. All right. Don't just fucking detach just for the giggles to see if the shit that Father Alex says works. Don't do that stuff. Okay. Because then they're going to want to get revenge. You only do this to maintain something. Now, a lot of guys, I've noticed that this works in dating, man. If you're dating someone and you do this works. And for me, the reason why it works is because I I've gone out with people and I wasn't that interested in them, and so my texts weren't that good. But the more I was less interested, the more I was less interested and still showed attention, the more attached they became, which is kind of fucking crazy. Fucking crazy how that works, right? So as you're dating people, you'll notice that if you actually go out with people you don't care about, well, you'll notice that there's a higher propensity that they're the ones that fall in love with you, and you might get shocked. You're like, what? Like I'm not even trying. Like in my mind, I swear to God, in my mind, I'm like, I'm literally showing you a red flag, girl. Like you should be calling me out right now, and you're not, right? And it's crazy. Honestly, it's crazy because I've done that when I'm bored. I'll just go out with right my toxic trait, right? And no, but I honestly I do it because I'm trying to get to know them, right? But sometimes I just don't like people, right? I have a tough time liking people, and I'll be with them, and I'm like, I don't know if it'll work out, but I give it like an extra 2 weeks just to give it a try, and I notice that they don't call me out on me being unresponsive sometimes. They don't call me out. They don't even notice my fake smile. They don't even notice that I'm like in my mind. I'm like, oh, this might not be it, but I'm still here, right? what I notice is that when I say that to myself internally, and I don't even show it in my body language, I don't know, people can sense it. Like there's a people have like an antenna, they can sense when you're not that into them, and some people, yeah, they walk away, but 50% of those people actually become more attached. I say that as a thing. I say that as from a place of like, don't be that person, and I say that from a place of like, ooh, that's kind of crazy. Like that's a little not weird, but like that's a little worrying because they're normal people and they react that way. So now that you know this, how do you do this? Right. Well, it's very honestly, it's very simple. Right. Um, realize that they're not the last ones. That they're not the last people on earth. Believe that the universe or God has someone for you. Like you got to develop an abundance mindset. You have to believe that there's someone out there that will like you for you. Like you have to believe that. If you don't believe that, then this will not work. You detach by understanding reality, and the reality is that they're not the only ones, right? Like that's, but fear and delusion will cause you to believe that they are the only ones, right? Like scarcity will make you think they are the only ones. So what we're talking about, it's not about a magic hocus pocus trick. It's really about bringing you back to reality. Let's be real. If you're actually observing human nature and you're just looking at it, not from fear, but just from reality, you'll know that this is not the last person you're going to meet, right? You can always look better. You can always behave better. You can always strategize better. If so, that scarcity, that lack of scarcity allows you to entertain more ideas. It's really about telling your brain, hey, brain, you could also possibly entertain the idea of finding somebody else. Hey, you know that motherfucker, right? You can also do that shit, you little creepy ass brain. No, I don't want to. Shut up, brain. Right? Like you gotta force that creepy motherfucking. Sorry, that's a little too much, right? You gotta force that beautiful brain of yours to entertain ideas of other people, because when you do that, the fear goes down because fear happens because of scarcity. The fear goes down and the excitement goes up, which translates as confidence and willingness to walk away. Right? Um, and as a guy, man, like honestly, even if a guy doesn't respect you and you walk away, right? Um, as a guy, I've seen that women, when I do this, they seem to I always have two reactions. They always have two reactions. They either let me walk away, or it's extremely needy behavior on their part, right? And this is why women. This is what I tell guys. If practicing detachment isn't just about attracting more of them, right? Practicing detachment is really about insulating yourself from the bitterness of getting rejected. Because the worst thing that happens that people are just not aware of is consistently getting rejected and not being aware of your mental reaction to rejection, where you develop a bitterness for the opposite sex. That's dangerous. Anyways, man, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.